There is always one night in every man's life, one night where the silence feels heavier than the loudest storm, where your own thoughts scream louder than the entire world combined. That night when you stare at the ceiling, wondering if your existence even matters. That night when your heart feels like it's bleeding, and you're inches away from giving it all up. But brother, remember this: it is in that very night, in that darkest hour, that your destiny is forged. Because the night you decide to never quit is the night your life changes forever. I know what it feels like to break. To sit alone, your phone silent, your dreams shattered, your energy gone. I know what it feels like to believe the world has forgotten you, that no matter how hard you fight, nothing will change. You sit there, staring into the darkness, whispering to yourself, "What's the point? Why am I still here?" And maybe you don't tell anyone. Maybe you've gotten so good at pretending that even the people closest to you have no idea that inside, you're drowning. But let me tell you something: every great man, every strong soul, every legend you've ever admired, they've all faced that same night, that same silence, that same crushing weight of hopelessness. And do you know what separated them from the millions who gave up? It wasn't talent. It wasn't luck. It wasn't money. It was a decision. A simple, defiant decision whispered into the void. I will not quit. It doesn't happen in the spotlight. Nobody claps for you when you make that choice. There are no cameras, no witnesses, just you, and the darkness, and the decision that changes everything. And here's the truth most people will never understand. That night you're living through, the one where you feel like you can't take another step, will be the exact night that prepares you for the life you've been praying for. Because struggle is not your enemy. Pain is not your enemy. Quitting is. Listen to me carefully: pain is the doorway. The longer you run from it, the longer you delay your transformation. But the second you stop running, the second you look at your pain in the eye and say, "I'm not leaving. I'm not quitting. I'm not breaking," that's when your pain bows down to you. That's when your life begins to shift. Think back for a second. Think of all the times you thought you wouldn't survive. The heartbreak that shattered you. The betrayal that left you speechless. The failure that humiliated you. The loneliness that suffocated you. You survived all of it. And if you survived all of that, what makes you think this night will break you? This is the night where men are made. This is the night where your strength is not a theory, but a reality. This is the night where you rise, not because life got easier, but because you decided to never quit. And you need to hear this: people around you might already have given up on you. Some may even want you to fail. They may laugh at your struggle. They may dismiss your dreams. They may write you off like you're nothing. But when you choose to stand, when you choose to keep going, when you choose to never quit, those same people will have no choice but to witness your rise. Brother, understand something: the world doesn't reward the quitters. It doesn't reward the people who stop halfway. It rewards the stubborn, the relentless, the ones who keep moving forward even when every bone in their body screams to stop. Right now, you may feel weak. You may feel broken. You may feel like you've already lost. But let me tell you something that might shock you. This weakness you feel is not weakness. It's the foundation of strength. Because a man who's never been broken cannot know what it means to be unbreakable. A man who's never been lost cannot know what it means to be found. A man who's never stood in the fire cannot know what it means to walk out as gold. The night you decide to never quit is the night you begin to see the truth, that your pain is not here to kill you. It's here to build you. Every tear you've shed is watering the seed of the man you're becoming. Every scar you carry is proof that you fought battles others couldn't even imagine. And every moment you wanted to give up but didn't, that's the silent proof of your greatness. Let me say this loud and clear: you don't need the world to believe in you. You don't need applause, approval, or recognition. All you need is that one decision, that one whisper in the middle of the night when you're at your lowest: I'm not quitting, not tonight, not ever. And if you can say that and mean it, the entire universe will bend in your favor. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next week, but slowly, piece by piece, your life will begin to transform. Because consistency beats talent, Persistence beats luck, and refusing to quit beats everything. Brother, this night right here, will not last forever. The storm always passes. The darkness always gives way to dawn. And when the morning comes, when you wake up after choosing not to quit, you'll carry something inside you that no one can ever take away, the unshakable proof that you are stronger than your suffering. So when you feel like giving up, remember this: greatness is not built in comfort. It's built in nights like these, in the silence, in the struggle, in the fight that nobody sees. This is your night, the night you decide to never quit, the night everything changes. And tomorrow, when you rise, you'll rise as someone new, someone unbreakable, someone unstoppable. But let me take you deeper. Imagine a man sitting alone in his small, dimly lit room. His bed is unmade, bills scattered across the floor, his phone buzzing with notifications he doesn't want to see. He stares at the wall, his chest heavy, his breath shallow. He feels like he's failed everyone, his parents, his friends, himself. And tonight, it feels like the final straw. He whispers to himself, maybe it's better if I just stop. Maybe this fight isn't worth it anymore. That man could be anyone. It could be the friend you thought was strong. It could be the stranger walking past you on the street. It could be you. Because every man at some point in his life will face that moment, that crushing, suffocating moment where quitting feels easier than breathing. But here's the secret life hides from you. Until you're standing there on the edge of that exact moment, the one you hate is also the moment that holds the seed of your rebirth. Because when you decide not to quit, not because you feel strong, but precisely because you feel weak, that is when your strength is born. The man in that room, the one who feels like his life is collapsing, has two choices. He can surrender to the weight of his pain, or he can whisper a small, defiant no. No to quitting, no to surrender, no to breaking. That no may not sound loud to the world, but inside it's an explosion. It's the moment everything shifts, and that's how transformation begins. Not with applause, not with cheers, not with the world watching, but with one quiet, stubborn refusal in the middle of the night. Think of it like fire. When gold is put into the flames, it doesn't look beautiful. It doesn't shine. It screams, it melts, it breaks apart. But it is in that fire that the impurities are burned away. It is in that fire that the gold becomes pure. And brother, that's what's happening to you. Your nights of pain, your battles, your storms, they are not destroying you. They are refining you. But the gold must stay in the fire. If it runs too soon, it remains impure. And that's why quitting destroys men. It cuts short the very process that was designed to make them unbreakable. And so the man who stays, the man who refuses to quit, even as the flames scorch him, that man walks out as something new. Not weak, not broken, but unstoppable. Look back at history. Every man who ever changed the world had his night. Abraham Lincoln failed in business, lost elections, battled depression. He could have quit. He didn't. Thomas Edison failed over 1,000 times before he created the light bulb. He could have quit. He didn't. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in a prison cell. He could have quit. He didn't. The night you decide not to quit may never make it into the history books. Nobody may ever know the battle you fought, but that night will rewrite your story forever. And here's where the transformation becomes real. Because once you've walked through that night, once you've looked into the eyes of hopelessness and refused to bow, you carry something with you that no one else can fake, an unshakable fire. A light in your eyes that others notice, even if they don't know why. A calm strength in your voice that makes people trust you. A silent power in your presence that makes people stop and pay attention. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It's the quiet power of someone who knows what it feels like to almost break, and decided not to. Brother, I want you to picture this clearly. The version of you who makes it through this night, the version of you who refuses to quit, will not be the same man who walked into it. He will be wiser, stronger, sharper, more dangerous, and more compassionate. Because a man who has suffered deeply can also love deeply. He can guide others through their storms, because he knows the map of pain. That's why your story matters. Not just for you, but for the people you haven't even met yet. The ones who will look into your eyes someday, broken and hopeless, and see living proof that survival is possible. Proof that victory is possible. Proof that refusing to quit works. Don't you see? By not quitting tonight, you're not just saving yourself. You're becoming a light for someone else's darkness. And then comes the dawn. Imagine it. You wake up the next morning. The problems are still there. Maybe nothing outside has changed. But something inside you has shifted. You carry a different energy. You're no longer a man who runs. You're a man who stands. And every day after that, you build on it, step by step, brick by brick, until one day when you look back, you won't even recognize the man who almost gave up. You'll realize he died that night, not because he quit, but because you chose to kill him. You buried your weakness. You buried your fear. You buried your doubt. And from that grave, you rose as a different man. So let this be the night. Let this be the night where your story turns. Let this be the night you carve your name into destiny. Let this be the night where you decide that no matter how heavy the pain, no matter how loud the doubt, no matter how strong the storm, you will not quit. Because one day, someone will look at your life and say, if he made it through, then so can I. And that, brother, that is how legends are born. There comes a night unlike any other. A night when silence feels heavier than noise, when the weight on your chest is so unbearable that you can't breathe without pain. It's the night where you realize life is not going to hand you mercy, where you understand that no one is coming to save you. And in that suffocating moment, you either shatter into pieces, or you rise as something unbreakable. This is the night of decision. You've spent years running, years pretending you were strong when in reality, you were breaking quietly behind closed doors. You've smiled when your heart was screaming. You've kept moving when your legs wanted to collapse. You've pretended you were okay when deep down you were drowning. And here you are, tonight, standing at the edge of your own breaking point. And now you have two choices: quit or rise. Do you realize the power of this moment? The moment you decide to never quit again is the night you stop being who you were, and you begin to become who you were always meant to be. Understand this: pain will not kill you. Failure will not destroy you. The opinions of others will not bury you. The only thing that can defeat you is quitting. And the night you decide never to quit is the night you steal power away from every demon that's been haunting you. Close your eyes for a moment and imagine this: a man who has lost everything, a man who has been abandoned, mocked, rejected, betrayed. He stands in the middle of the battlefield of life, bleeding, exhausted, beaten, and yet, his hands clench into fists, his eyes burn with fire, and he whispers to himself, "I will not fall tonight. I will not quit tonight. Not anymore." That whisper shakes the heavens. That whisper terrifies the darkness. Because that whisper is the birth cry of a legend. And maybe that man is you. Maybe you've been broken by the weight of life. Maybe you've been suffocated by doubt. Maybe you've been buried under regret. But tonight, in this very moment, you can make a decision that changes everything. You can decide that no matter how many times life drags you to the ground, you will rise. You will crawl, you will bleed, you will suffer, but you will never quit. Do you know what separates those who win from those who fade into nothing? It isn't talent. It isn't luck. It isn't opportunity. It's this: the refusal to quit. History remembers the ones who refused to stay down, the ones who kept walking when every muscle screamed to stop, the ones who faced storms and still pushed forward. Every legend, every warrior, every man who built something eternal, they all had one thing in common: they decided. They decided that quitting would never again be an option. And that's the decision you must make tonight. When the voices in your head whisper, "You're not enough," you respond, "I am not quitting." When the world laughs at you, points at your scars, mocks your failures, you respond, "I am not quitting." When you're alone, when the nights are cold, when your soul feels like it's turning to ash, you whisper to yourself, "I will not quit." And slowly, brick by brick, you will rebuild yourself. The world may not notice in the beginning. They may not clap for you. They may not cheer for you. But one day they will stand in awe. They will ask, "How did he survive? How did he rise from that darkness?" And your answer will be simple: "Because I decided I would never quit." Listen closely, strength is not built in comfort. Strength is forged in fire. And the night you decide never to quit is the night you willingly walk through that fire, knowing it will burn, knowing it will scar you, but also knowing that it will purify you. Think about it. One night, one decision, one unshakable vow. That's all it takes to rewrite the rest of your life. Tonight could be the night you bury the weaker version of yourself forever. Tonight could be the night you finally face the man in the mirror and tell him, "I forgive you for who you were." But tomorrow you will rise as someone new. And when you rise with purpose. You rise with fire in your chest. You rise with the kind of strength that cannot be explained, only witnessed. And from that day forward, no storm will scare you, no loss will destroy you, no betrayal will break you. Because you carry inside you the memory of this night. The night you made the decision to never quit. Let me leave you with this truth. Quitting is the language of the weak. Refusal is the weapon of the strong. The man who refuses to quit is the man who eventually wins. He doesn't win because the world handed him victory. He wins because he outlasted everyone else. So tonight, decide. Decide that no matter how much pain you feel, you will not surrender. Decide that no matter how far you've fallen, you will not stay down. Decide that this is the night your story changes forever. And one day, when people speak of you, they won't remember the times you almost gave up. They won't remember the nights you cried in silence. They won't remember the weight that almost crushed you. They will remember one thing: never quit. And that, my brother, is enough to make you eternal. This is your night. The night you decide never to quit. The night you take back your life. The night you become unstoppable. And when the sun rises tomorrow, the world will not be facing the same man it saw yesterday. It will be facing a man reborn. A man who refused to quit. A man who chose to rise. A man who will never ever be broken again.